I was scrolling on YouTube as usual, doing my thing as you do. But I felt a sudden shift in the aura. Something was off. I do not remember the Grammys looking like this at all. Today, we got the 2024 Underground Music Awards. I'm trying to see the best artist, the best album, best project. I'm here for it all. I was about to click on the video, but then I realized I was missing something. Let's go.
Put it in, on his chest, he look like CM Punk. Yeah, really up that 10-5, put him in the trunk.
Okay, OGV is gonna be in the description.
It was good, y'all. I know it's been a minute, like a hot little minute. I think it's been like a month.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bro, my fault. Life been kicking nigga ass, but we back. And so we back with what I want to call the Underground Rap Awards. Basically, how this gonna work is for the past 2024 albums only, I'm gonna list the 5 worst albums, 5 worst artists, and I'm gonna list the 5.
Okay, so we get to see the both sides, the positives and the negatives.
5 best albums. If it don't make sense right now, it's gonna make sense while I do this little shit. Go ahead, like and subscribe. Do all the usual shit there is to it. And why don't we just get this party on the road? I done did enough explaining. Let's hurry up and get to. Also, if you couldn't tell, this shit is unscripted, so I'm just gonna be yapping out my ass for a lot of these. So
hey, that's all right, man. I'll be doing the same thing, man.
Or come across as, my thoughts is unorganized.
Yeah, okay.
Feeling, what's going on, yo? Let's bounce.
Okay, so the crazy thing about it is I don't actually hate this album. More so, I hate what it represents. Not only
it's interesting. It's real interesting
for the underground, but for the culture of black people as a whole. I know I'm getting taking it way too seriously, but you gotta hear me on this one. So, talking about the album itself, the album is not bad on its own. There are some tracks I like off the top of my head.
He's probably gonna address this, but to be honest, I don't really see an issue with it. It's it's not meant to be that serious. To be honest, it's just I feel like music is music. You shouldn't have a boundary on it.
Magic Johnson's a hit. Hermes Sheets is a hit. That beat is so fucking satisfying. Never Stop is a hit. What's that song called? Bentiaga. That song is a hit. Ian got some songs on here, but the problem is the way Ian markets himself is that Ian is rapping over these old Gucci Mane 2006 type beats. And, that's an era I'm personally close to myself, just because that's kind of all the type of music my mom was playing throughout her car.
All right, we're gonna.
So that's the only thing I was listening to. But all that Ian does is rap over these beats, and his whole gimmick is I'm white, I sound black though, because I'm rapping over these beats. You see what I'm saying? It's a weird thing. He's not like a Yeat or Nespin situation where Nespin and Yeat, while they're white,
yeah, that's the common point. But
while they're white or white passing, they genuinely have respect for the culture. They have respect for the game.
Yeah, I see that point of view.
He isn't going out here, using his whiteness as brand appeal. Does that make sense? He's white, and then he just makes good music. Nespin is white, and he just makes tolerable music. But
that's true.
His whole marketing thing is, look how white I am. You got DJ Holiday, even in the intro, DJ Holiday was talking about this shit. So, while I don't hate the album itself, what it represents for the culture and the underground scene, which is now turned into a whole bunch of white kids running around trying to profit off the fact that they're white, I just don't like it. If you really want to get
I just feel like if we gotta blame anyone, it's just the people that's consuming it, man, more than the people that's making it, because they're not gonna make it if no one's gonna consume it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Technical, you really want to get philosophical about it. This is kind of
people consume anything.
Reiteration of what happened to jazz and rock and a lot of the stuff that we as a black community created. A lot of those genres. But I'm not gonna take it that serious. It's fucking Ian. Also, I heard that the follow-up album to this, Goodbye Horses, was worse. I wouldn't know though, because I didn't listen to it.
Nah, it wasn't. It was better.
I think that without doing. You know, You Got Me with Magic Johnson. If I can say You Got Me with Hermès Sheets.
It was better.
This album, I don't think the album's that bad, but because
in my opinion,
you know, I got
it was better.
solidarity with my fellow African American brothers and sisters. So yeah, it's number 5.
Oh my God, you're so kind. You're so...
Okay, now, I did not listen to this, but I was listening to like all of his stuff prior to this, so I'm interested to see what he says about this.
Like my dad. Is that what you like to
I heard
hear?
like 2 songs off it. I kind of liked them, but
No, yeah, of course you do. Of course
the audio is insane.
Everybody wants to fuck the 15-year-old.
Look, ignoring all real world like implications of what this nigga's been doing lately, grooming a whole bunch
Diddy.
of fucking little girls.
A Diddy.
Right. On its own, this album is the most boring shit I think I've ever listened to. The best way I can describe this is like Duke Dennis music. If you catch one.
What you insulting Duke for, bruh? What you mean Duke Dennis music, man? Duke would never listen to this. He would never put his ears to this terrible music, man. Duke only cleanses his ears with beautiful, great music, great hood music. He wouldn't listen to this A Diddy guy.
What I'm trying to say, like that kind of aesthetic.
And he didn't drop the what's it called? What was it called? If he dropped this I would have like, you know, I would have heard the whole album out, man. But he didn't.
And I mean that in the most derogatory way possible. He raps over these glow beats, which I don't usually have a problem with, because when we see Autumn on aggressive beats, it's usually a mixed bag, but more often than not, he does his thing on it. But for some reason, he just didn't do that here. He just gave the most lifeless, soulless form of music.
So it's just like a cash grab, you saying?
Like, it's just genuinely bad. Side note, by the way, but it doesn't help the case when you are already facing like pedophile allegations, and then you decide to make a track and put it on your new album while you're facing these allegations, and then call the track "Take Her Phone." Nigga, it is 2024, right? You're already crazy for still doing like phone riz shit in 2024. But then, additionally, you're doing the Take Her Phone shit.
And he like 27.
Super senior
That's crazy.
shit. Where my hug at shit I think I've ever seen in my entire life, bro. Yeah, this nigga got it on this one. This is one, it's just not good. I expected better from Autumn. And you know, what's crazy is I actually fucked with a lot of what he brought to the table on Solitary too. Even though the rest of Twitter apparently didn't. I thought it was kind of good, but you know, here he doesn't bring anything
really.
new to the table.
It was kind of
here is the most generic shit, and honestly, he's becoming the Drake of the underground, and I mean that in 2 ways more than one. Hopefully, this next album that he puts out, Back to My Roots, is good, because otherwise, I'm just gonna stop tuning into this nigga.
Man, come on, man, y'all niggas know what the fuck up. Oh, stop playing, don't slap any nigga over here.
Okay, this wasn't that bad. I actually made a video, listened to this album, and it wasn't that bad. You know, it was alright, you know. It wasn't good, but like it had some hits on it.
Thank you.
This nigga is absolutely not crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. This Richard Mary album is funny as fuck. So already the album had controversy surrounding it because this nigga like dead ass copied the entire aesthetic of War 2. So Fago's album. That shit is the funniest shit to me because they like immediately got exposed, and then Richard Mary and his manager tried to do damage control and basically argue with fans on Discord, swearing to God that they didn't bite each other. But look at that shit, bro. Like, look at it. Look at this shit. It's very obvious features.
Yeah, we know this.
And somehow he still ends up carrying the fucking song. Make it make sense. Once again on this project, Richard Mille, how he still ends up carrying himself is mid. There's only 2 features here. Both of them are from Osama Son. And I'm gonna be completely real with you. Osama Son phones his verse in for both of these features, and somehow he still ends up carrying the fucking song.
That's cap. Richard Mille carried Osa Mason on one of them songs, and Osa Mason carried Rich Amiri on the other song. That's cap. He just talking.
Make it make sense. Once again, on this project, Rich Amiri is heavily biting Future on some instances, and it's not like in a good way. I'll talk about how, you know, you can pay homage to an artist later, but most importantly, Rich Amiri, instead of just coming out with his own sound, Rich Amiri still relies on Future's sound to boost himself up in the world. This nigga is still biting plays. This shit did not outsell Netspin's album, who has supposedly far less traction than Rich Amiri, and all his shit is bodied, and the album itself is kind of mid. It's whatever album.
It just sounds like he ain't.
It's an album you kind of listen to once, you know, you forget about. And the reason why it's not higher or lower on the list,
like he's not giving no criticism. He's just saying.
I feel like with the last two projects, you could have did some work there. And with Ian's project, it was kind of just like a situational basis. You know, this nigga had to be at the bottom. With Rich Amiri's, I just feel like the type of music Rich Amiri makes is so cookie cutter underground type shit. Like, the nigga just makes the most generic shit you could hear from the underground, which is really not a good thing. So with that being said, Already is number 3 on this list.
Ain't no switching. I'm tired of dealing with you lame ass hoes. You can get hit with a cane, hoe. And yeah, I'm talking about Slick Rick. I'm not talking no bitch fit, but you can get hit, bitch. And yeah.
Cut the shit off, bro.
Alright, so this Swappa album pissed me off more than it was bad. This was my first.
I kind of listened to this. I like the Meeting God.
I had listened to some singles after this before he released this album, and I tend to enjoy those singles more, even though they're the same style of music. It just hits harder, I guess. But for this album, this nigga just can't rap. And I don't mean that in a way like how Cardi can't rap or how a lot of artists nowadays can't rap. I mean, like, this nigga cannot rap. This nigga literally went on a song. I got more hits than Justin Bieber. I got more hits. I got more hits than Justin Bieber. And that was like damn near the entire song.
Yeah, he doesn't fill his face with ad-libs. He just soft spoken, man.
That combined with these kind of minimalistic proto trap type beats that again are reminiscent of shit like old Gucci Mane and whatnot, but he does put his own twist to it. But combined with that, no, I don't think this album's good at all. You know what I'm saying? While I do think some of the beats might have carried here, Swappa ruins them so bad I don't even want to listen to the song.
I'm trying to get them, but
so yeah, I don't see the Swappa hype. Maybe this album will grow on me, but for right now, I still think this is one of the worst releases to come out of 2020.
Worst is kind of dragging.
It sounds lazy. The production can't even carry. And worst of all, Swappa doesn't have a single memorable bar from this entire project. I can remember shit from the Ian project. I can remember shit from that Autumn project. I can kind of remember a bar Rich Amiri might have said on War Ready, but I can't tell you anything this nigga Swappa said because he does not have a bar throughout this entire project. He doesn't have a single memorable moment throughout this entire project. It's just him droning on these minimalistic beats, which I don't have a problem with because some of them are actually hard, but I can't even listen to the song for the beat because this nigga Swappa ruins it. So yeah, it's number 2.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Nice try, Randy. Tell Tatum to hurry up, okay?
Alright, yeah. Nah, he's rounding the dot with this one.
Now.
If you hang up on me, you'll die just like your mother.
Do you want to die, Sydney? Your mother sure didn't.
The clips to do this picking is crazy.
So at number 1, where I have the worst, what I have is the worst. What I have is the worst album for the year is Count of Dracula by Jadakiss. This album, despite like everything else Jadakiss is doing, is heavily emo inspired. However, this one's just straight up a grungy rock album, and it's not a good one.
Yeah.
At all.
Like, it's not
it's
that.
It's so bad, bro.
It's not that it was rock. It's just, it wasn't good rock, you know? Like, a lot of people want to, like, you know, penalize an artist for doing something different, but, like, he did something different and he didn't do it the right way, in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion.
I wonder if this is how a lot of like the people who actually listen to rock feel when
there is no right way, but like it just didn't sound good.
This is just not good. The songs on here feel like the most generic emo shit ever, and it makes it extremely hard to listen to because it just kind of brings your whole mood down. Also, the only song that's tolerable on here, and the song that people keep fucking putting as their Instagram notes, is Hysteric. I think that song's actually kind of somewhat, maybe a little bit of a vibe.
Yeah, that's like.
I cannot stress how much I somewhat like that song, bro.
Let me hear it again.
Good, cause it feels so good. What you want me to do?
It's alright.
Everything else is not bad. Terrible to listen to. It's just a hard listen. As of me recording this, it has been 1 minute and 18 seconds in this section, and I have yet to talk about the shit J-Des has done. That's gotta be a world record. That's gotta be a world record. So, like, I tried to ignore the shit, bro, but it's like this nigga stabbed his fucking girlfriend. I'm laughing, but the shit not funny, bro. That shit
I know what you laughing
scary
for.
as hell.
Like,
and then, like, actually talking about the music, it's terrible. I feel like if this album came out in 2018, it'd be lauded as something completely different. But most people in our stage of the underground scene, and most people in general, have kind of grown out that fucking emo sound. So hearing an album sound like a whole bunch of Nirvana throwaways they probably wrote while heavily inebriated, you know, it just doesn't tickle my fancy. You know, it's just not a good project. I haven't seen anything good about it as a whole. Again, people like Hysteric. I think Hysteric's a decent song at best. But other than that, yeah, no. You play this around me, you're getting slapped. And that is why the worst album of 2024 belongs to J-Des. Well, those are the worst albums in here.
Okay. Now we on the good stuff. Now we on the good stuff. Now let's go.
The worst artists in here.
Let's go.
In fifth place, I got Molly Santana. Her music doesn't do anything to me. It sounds like Doritos. I mean that in the most derogatory way possible.
How can music sound like Doritos, bro? What is like? Do you mean like it sound like hot chip music? What does that mean?
Number 4, I got Laserdisc 700. Wow.
Oh. Like, maybe he means like if it feels like Doritos, you know? Because like Doritos is kind of like a bottom tier chip, you know?
He was hard at first. He just
That's my last option is Doritos.
Continuously over and over again. And his style of music tends to get a little overplayed really, really fast. You know, his style of music gets very stale, super quick.
But I rock with every once in a while.
4, I got Laserdisc 700. And then at number 3, the third worst artist of 2024, Easily Protect. I don't know what y'all see in this guy.
See, I would have been with you when he first came out, but he got too many like classic, not classics, but like catchy. Like he's mad catchy, good flows and stuff. Even though the album didn't do well. It's not. It's okay. Even though the album didn't do well, he still had a lot of good singles and stuff like that. So I can't just write him off like that and say he's the worst.
Like he's literally just rapping over okay beats in the most generic way possible. There's nothing that makes him stand out to me. If he didn't have the DEO cosign, I'm so serious he probably wouldn't have a fan base. He wouldn't be taken seriously today. For number 2, I have Too Slimy. Kind of see how that fits. Yeah,
okay,
this
now that
music fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not listening. He dropped a tape this year, I'm not listening to it. He dropped a song this year, I'm not listening to it. If you listen to Too Slimy, you are a bot. Like that's the strong opinion I have about Too Slimy. If you listen to that nigga, you're an NPC. I have to go up to you to start a question.
Yeah, no one actually listens to that.
Alright? So yeah, number 2, Too Slimy. And then number 1, the worst artist of 2024, Whole Lotta Cheese. I blame every Twitter underground page for even exposing me to this person.
They've been pushing
that
that way too much.
An artist. Whole Lotta Cheese is gentrification, but it's not in the sense of Ian, where he somewhat has an original sound, or at least a sound that's wasn't really replicated before him. But when it comes to Whole Lotta Cheese, her music is literally taken from people like Rocket or Glock 40 Spaz or Laser Dim.
Nah.
He copies Chase,
Brennan Jones,
whole like kind of music videos aesthetics. It somehow combines those to make some of the worst art imaginable. Yeah, the worst artist of 2024 is Whole Lotta Cheese. But if you couldn't tell, I'm getting kind of tired of talking about the
Block never sounded that bad
all the time. So, what are the top 5 albums in the underground scene that released this year? Well, starting off with number 5, we have
solid pick, solid. Okay, you could play the
Reno, bro. Every time, dude. Every time he gonna come out with a banger. He definitely did it with this one. This is another classic Summers R&B project. And this one really, oh my God, man. He did his thing.
Here he go.
The beats on here, as usual, are majestic. Summers does his thing with his flows and his vocals. The nigga is just the GOAT. I mean, what can I say? And this project certainly goes down as one of the better ones in his discography. Songs like Drinking Sex, oh my fucking God, bro. They're good, bro. They're so good. The beat is so good on that song.
Wow, it sounds like it's really, it's down deep right now, man. Like, you can like, maybe like take it out just a little tiny bit, you know? It's kind of, it's a little, getting a little clogged.
Bro, I wanna have drugs with you. I wanna have sex with you. I wanna get drunk with you. I wanna have sex with you. Bro, he was hitting that shit. And then you got songs like Sneaky Link and Love for Us with that guitar beat switch. But that's, oh my God, bro. That fucking song is so good. Then the guitar beat switch on top of that just makes it so much better. I'm not doing it justice. You really do gotta listen to that whole tape just to see for yourself how he did it. But he knocked it out the park with this one. And honestly, I feel like this one's kind of slept on. A lot of people don't talk about this, but I just never left my rotation. Even though it's not as experimental or it isn't as boundary pushing as Summers' old projects, I still really fuck with this one. Which is why it's never made sense.
It was a good project
why
though.
People say Summers is washed now. Because this tape was really, really, really good. Summers himself has had a pretty good 2024 by featuring on the new Yeet project. So it's always just been about excellence for that nigga this year. But this is exemplified best in this project right here. So that's why Before the Raven is number 5.
Okay, now we talking.
The new lifestyle, you know, no.
Oh my gosh, God.
Banner is so good, bro. Like, I think I might have been sleeping on Tanner. Actually, I definitely was sleeping on Tanner's music. Because I didn't even fucking bother tapping the Golf to You. I did eventually, and I thought it was whatever. But more importantly, Banner is just a very good album. I said earlier that we'll talk about an album that actually pays homage to an artist very, very well.
Yeah, it does.
And Banner does that very good. Because while it is very much a homage to early Young Thug music, Tanner has his own sound here. Tanner also presents his own sound.
This is great music.
In with this ATL, very old thugger type music, and it works beautifully on Banner. And from what I've heard from stuff previous to Banner, Tanner's music has always been thugger adjacent. So it's never been that far-fetched, and it's not going to seem that crazy. Whereas a person like Richard Mille just suddenly having Future influences, it's very noticeable. Especially when you're a nigga from Boston trying to emulate a nigga from Atlanta. Tanner's at least a nigga from Atlanta trying to emulate another nigga from Atlanta. So it all works out in the end. So when he goes on interviews and says Rich Homie Quan is his
music and music, bro,
or Young Thugs are his influence, I believe it because I can hear it in this nigga's music pre-Banner. But talking about the music itself, Banner is so fucking good. When it hits, it fucking hits. And when it wants to take a seat back, sometimes it's a little too slow. But shit like Decatur, insane Zaytoven prod, by the way. And then you had Jesus Piece, which is another really hard song. YSL, while a good song, definitely had me, you know, eyebrows raised when this nigga was pushing the Young Thug influence a little too hard. Nigga in the booth talking about some, we got Prano on the track. Yeah, nah, man. Cut that shit off. Designer Things might be one of the greatest songs to come out this year. Very good beat, very good vocals, very good flow, very good lyrics, and it had a cool music video. It's just an all-around package. What can I say? This album is a very good album. It sort of feels like Tana has come out his cocoon recently, like artistically. He's becoming more of a person and more of an artistic force to be messed with within the underground scene. Stuff like this album, 18, and a whole bunch of fucking unreleased prove that. Hopefully he keeps working with Soprano. Hopefully he keeps mixing this sound he has now with
good takes, good takes,
like another artist we'll talk about on this list. But yeah, Banner at number 4. Very good album.
I'm my mama's son. Alright. Oh my god. I'm my mama's son. I might pull up on you in that lamb truck with that cutter. Osama's son.
Obama's son.
I cannot have a best album of the 2024 list without including Osama's son. It just wouldn't feel complete, and I probably got like 1,000 death threats. But regardless, Osama's son's Still Slime is hard as shit. Now, this is actually a sequel
they keep on leaking
to a
everything, man.
Early in 2023 called Two Slime. It is a collab project with the producer Bullymon. So
that's
it
what must be
differs in
Flex
production
1, 2, 3
value and tight beats as composed to his usual stuff like Osama Season or Flex music. However, this was the only full album that released in 2024, and I still think it's one of his best works, if not his best work, because of how versatile it is. It shows how much he's evolved since his early days, while still using the sound from his early days, if that makes sense. Because Bully's on the track, we get these blown out
I'm with Bullymon.
808s that differ in the type of blown out 808s featured on his traditional stuff, where it kind of sounds like fuzz. If you remember the type of beats XXXTentacion was rapping on before he started focusing on more emo-centric stuff, then yeah, this is the type of beats that Osama Son's rapping on. That's what they remind me of, at least.
I kind of hear
weird 808s that aren't necessarily more so thunderous,
I don't hear it at all.
Music or something, but more so just blown out and heavily distorted. It's almost shoegazy almost. But you know, that's kind of using too many buzzwords. So I'll just say
just talking for
good. And it's a really good project. Songs like YSL hit hard, No Smoke hit hard, Trees hit hard, and of course the crown gem of this project, Creep, has one of the best beats in this scene of music I've ever heard. And it's one of the best beats Osama's ever rapped on in his entire career. That's why Still Slime works, because Still Slime kind of shows how in a year how much Osama has truly grown as an artist, how much better he's getting at his craft in only a year, which is insane to me, how he kind of just went from underground to in that weird purgatory state within a year. Some artists have to grind to get to that level.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Proves Came as to why Osama was able to get to that level, how fast he was. It's a very good album, very unique album. If you haven't listened to it, strongly recommend you do. And that's why it's number 3.
Fucking hate life. I'm just gonna end it all right now. Nobody try to stop me. Bye, guys.
Come in what you want, come in what you want, yeah. Come in what you want, bitch. You can't call me lame. Pockets fat like Raga Gang. CO6, I ain't write no track.
This is great tunes. My favorite one this year, that and his other project.
I'm probably surprised as to why I didn't put One Life on here. It's because One Death is way better. The production on this thing is, again,
it's more
insane.
like
I kind of think that 1AM and TDF are starting.
Like he has less misses on One Death and One Life.
Become the new Nutty and Pierre, the way their minds are so in sync when it comes to vibe and stuff. And Zen has his own production on here as well. To me, 1AM and the
so
past
tough.
run he's done,
So
which
tough.
I'll get into later, kind of really sounds like the next step in the old Slay Royal sound that wasn't their plug and B shit. A lot of that shit wasn't really fully developed yet because of how often these guys experimented. But 1AM kind of takes a step back and tries to evolve that sound as much as possible. And I'm glad he does so. The reason why I didn't put One Life on here though is because One Death lacks a lot of the bloat One Life has. One Death is only 8 tracks long. Even though it's a short, it gets straight to the point on every single song.
Yes, you do.
There's maybe one song on here I don't like, which is probably No Lie. And I just don't like it because of how it doesn't fit within the vibe of the rest of the songs. That's because the rest of the album is so wonderfully executed. You create this
so
own kind
like
of world, this
chill,
whole atmosphere that One Life kind of birthed.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Takes it to a whole nother level. The best way I can put this album is as a very calm album to listen to. And then when it's not. Songs like Coraline, songs like Alicia Keys with the insane beat, FaceTime hit hard with its unique sample and approach to percussion. One Death is really good. And it's a shame to me how One Death is overshadowed by its
this is good glaze right here, man.
One Life. Even
Great
though
glaze.
One Death is way more put together, even if it was only supposed to be a deluxe. That being said though, because it's only 8 tracks, it's getting second place on this list. If it was maybe 1 or 2 tracks longer, I feel like it could have been something really, really special. But it's still special. It's just not #1 special, album of the year special. That goes to another artist, and #1 on the list is...
Okay, I've got the perfect solution. Brain Explosion.
He knows ball. He knows ball. While One Death is my favorite, this is second. He knows ball. He knows ball.
Yeah, I throw some cash on you, just cause you bad, bitch. Every time that you gon' lose your mind, yo. Remember you be fine, yo. And I should be alright, yeah. Go on, yeah. All fucking knows how to go hard. Pink faces all in the go yard. Pink flats, I don't do no bar. All you wanna be no, bitch. Damn, you wanna be no. Just switch your shit up for the loco. Bullets pop out like a yo-yo, bitch. I don't want the peace no more. Yeah, beep.
What? You can't explode my brain. That's gotta be illegal.
No, the band, Brain Explosion.
Oh, never heard of them.
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't have. You gotta be in the know to know, you know?
No.
And that's why you've never heard of them. But trust me, these guys are like real musicians. Just listen to some of this and it'll blow that poppy trash music right out of your head. Wait. Oh man, that's like the best part.
At #1 on the list, we have Say So Says by Che. Now, this is a very interesting album because it uses a lot of elements taken from the first Crystal Castles album, which is one of my favorite records of all time, and it kind of mixes the sound he had from Kruger, which was heavily Sosa inspired. This is what I was talking about earlier in the Tana section, and I wanted someone to take what they learned from a GOAT and kind of bring it to a new sound, and Che did that excellently with Say So Says. There's a lot of good tracks on here. The whole fucking album is a good track, but my favorite has gotta be It's My Party, I'll Die If I Want To. By the way, these song titles are fucking hilarious, but it's just this whole album really that sets up a certain vibe with this chip tune combined with like these hazy mumbly vocals that's super unintelligible, which kind of dates back to again the first Crystal Castles album.
It's perfect.
Where Alice Glass on that record, you can barely tell what the fuck she's saying on like half of those songs. That's not Crime Wave. So yeah, I really do like this album just because of what it does, what it reminds me of. But what it brings new to the table is it tries to take Rage and spins it on his head. When people told me Whole Lotta Red reminded them of Crystal Castles, I was a little confused. But Say So Says reminds me of Crystal Castles more than something like A Whole Lotta Red does. And I can see a lot of people being on this album, but he only chose one feature, which was technically a sample. So for the most part, it's just Che. And Che does a wonderful job producing this album too, as he also has production credits on a lot of these songs. Him and Nate Exco have done a very good job, and as it seems, we're getting into the deluxe soon.
Wait, that's how you
so
say
it's
it?
just gonna be
I
even
thought it was
better.
Nate
The song
CXO.
where this nigga literally just randomly samples Hatsune Miku fucking threw me for a loop. I've never been so enthralled by an underground album, dead ass, in a very long time. Well, maybe not a long time, but it's been a while since
Hey, I gotta
an
talk about
underground
this.
album has been able to recapture
No, I don't. Never mind.
a lot of essence of a first listen.
Hey, you about to get a
First
discussion,
listen, Say So Says was amazing. You know, it wouldn't feel like just music. It felt like an experience, which is a lot of what mainstream artists do. And I feel like if Che keeps doing that type of stuff, then he's gonna really push himself into the mainstream very soon, even if it's his own little lane. You see what Charlie XCX is doing right now. She's a pop star in her own kind of way. Therefore, Say So Says is album of the year. And those are the best albums of 2024 in the underground. But who are the best artists? Well, in fifth place, I have Osama Sun. While a lot of Osama Sun's output got leaked this year, it's no doubt that he kind of flooded the scene. And next, I got Two Hollis. Two Hollis definitely did his thing this year. I mean, he gained such a fan base just from a tour, which is insane to me. I didn't even know a Ken Carson stimulus would really even matter, but I guess it does. You know, I'm interested to see where his career goes. Number 3, I got Nesman. Obviously, Nesman had a generational year this year. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, he dropped so much this year. It's actually ridiculous.
Really
And number
should be
2,
top 2,
who also had a very good year this year, Xavier So Based. I don't really listen to Xavier So.
Now I rock with this guy, alright? He's speaking facts. He knows what he's talking about.
Bass like that, but I can tell just by the way how people are passionate about him and by his output this year that aren't bad. Yeah, he's definitely had a great year. He kind of, again, just also been doing his thing, just like everyone else on this list. And number 1, I got 1AM. 1AM has had a generational
perfect list, no misses, man.
Year this year.
I'm gonna like this video, man.
He's probably dropped 3 projects this year. One Life, One Death, 2, Winter 3. And as of me uploading this, it's probably already out and it's probably amazing as usual. Zen has just been going crazy this year, and I'm interested to see what the future holds. Hopefully this nigga blows up, because honestly, I think he's better than a lot of people gas up. You know, thank y'all so much for watching. This was originally supposed to come out on Christmas Day, but so many editing mistakes and like bugs and errors and shit, and me just being a horrible planner. You know, it whenever it came out, hopefully on the next day. But regardless, I wish y'all have a great day. I wish y'all had a good time with y'all family.
Man, that's a great video right there, man. The Underground Rap Wars. Beautiful. We had some great lists, some great albums, some great artists. 1AM especially, Xavier So Based especially, Netspin especially. We got some great lists, man. I like to see more from this. You got to stop disappearing. This Cherry dude. Shout out to him. Like his video, watch his video. Follow the Twitch, follow the TikTok. Send me an edit to rate on Instagram. Join the Discord and send edits there too. Just do your thing. Have fun, man. Have a good day. I'm out.
I see you, yeah, it's to you.